So there is a thing that happens that I have to deal with this time of year whenever we come outside from inside. Do you like this glowing effect? That's a condensation on my camera lens because it's so hot out here. So it is evening, right before dark, and we're in the garden with some sweet friends I want to introduce you guys to, but we're doing something really cool. In this bag, there are 1,500 ladybugs. These were sent to us off of our Amazon wish list. We were so excited to get these little guys in the mail. We've just opened one of the packages and let it loose at the base of some of my noodle beans, which were covered in aphids. So look at these. Okay, they're covering these beans because there were tons of aphids on them. Ladybugs eat aphids, and this year I've had more aphids than ever before. I've never dealt with them like we have this year. So the ladybugs were a really cool thing.
What? Huh?
So come here.
What are we doing?
You're gonna be on YouTube.
Am I?
So this is Caleb.
Hello.
Who is one of my lifelong best friends. We get to say that now.
Yes.
Because we've been friends for like well over, I mean like 2/3 of our life at this point.
Yeah, over half. So
yeah,
that
so and he and his wife are in town from South Louisiana, and we are showing them the garden in Alpacas. Super pumped to have them here.
Yes.
Releasing ladybugs.
Yes.
Charlie, do you have a lightning bug?
Yes.
Oh my god, it tickles. So here's Sarah and Miss Ava, little baby doll girl.
She's checking it all out. She's excited. I'm excited.
Charlie, the lightning bugs are awake. Are you excited?
It's like they won't light up.
He said the lightning bugs are awake. So Sarah and Caleb garden down in Louisiana. Of course, their stuff's a lot bigger than mine. They're ahead of me because it's a lot warmer down there. And she was saying that she's been getting some Paul Robeson tomatoes. I have to show you guys something. We're almost out of light. Y'all see that blushing Dr. Weich's tomato? That means the tomato sandwiches in my near future.
Yeah, no barn.
We're running out of light, but look at this.
Right then?
Hello. Charlie's trying to get him to crawl on his finger, but then he changes his mind when they do. So these leaves had quite a few little aphids on them. And basically what the instructions said was to let these out where they would have food. Well, I had a bad infestation of aphids on the noodle beans. See, he's done it like 10 times. He'd get one on his finger and then he's like, oh God, I didn't want this. I made a bad choice, let me do it again.
I know. Just like any typical.
But seriously, like we're watching them come off onto these leaves and I mean just attack the aphids immediately. So this is one of the bags. We had 2 bags. The other one we put on the noodle beans. I just put it at the bottom of the noodle beans. Within like 10 minutes, I'm not joking, some of the noodle beans were so covered in aphids that you couldn't even see bean. There was a bad infestation. Within 10 minutes of letting those 1,500 ladybugs off, there wasn't a single aphid that I could find on the whole plant. Like, crazy. Hey, what are they looking for?
I don't know.
What are they looking for?
So what is that thing? You're looking for
that's just a piece of mulch, bro.
You're looking for some food. Look at this
That's
thing.
right.
I found this, but it's a piece of mulch. Oh. This thing, look at this. It's not a snake, but it's a piece of mulch.
It rained so much last night. Oh man, these tomatoes are getting ready. Hey Gary. Say hey Daniel.
Hey y'all. How's it going?
We released the ladybugs 2 nights ago and I'm seeing them all over the garden. Not super high concentration, but a lot of them are hanging around. I had read previously, like a lot of people said they released ladybugs in their garden and they just left. But what I'd read was as long as they had food and water, that they would stay in the garden. And so you can like moisten the foliage and stuff before you let them out to make sure there's water. And we got a lot of rain afterwards and there's plenty of food because we had really bad aphids. So they're still hanging around, doing their job, and I'm super glad to have them here. Heavy rain just makes the garden go berserk. Like, look how tall the cherry tomatoes are. It also makes a giant mess. There's plants laying over everywhere. Look at this crazy garden. George, are you lounging, dude?
You're a mess.
So last night, the storm came through and made a big mess of the garden. Check out that tomato. Now that was definitely some major fasciation going on the blossoms. See all these crevices that might rot. It looks like there are a lot on here that were fused together. I have an okra plant snapped in half there, and lots of tomato plants needing more tying up. That is just almost a daily job at this point. Now I thought this was interesting. This is the snake bean from Baker Creek. Look at the blossom on this thing. Isn't that incredibly fascinating? I'm really excited to see what these turn out like. So I am frustrated to the point of just pulling out squash. I've started pulling them out. Some of them are doing okay, but I just don't know. They all are so infested. And even like my rampicante, just parts of it are starting to wilt, and it's just heartbreaking. Last year I dealt with squash bugs as well, and lost plants to them throughout the spring and summer, and I ended up tearing all the squash out last year and planting them again like in September, and had another big wave of harvest before the frost came, and I may just do that again. Summer squash may have to be a fall crop for us. The cool thing is though, if you're really having a lot of pest pressure on anything, if you try to grow that crop at a different time of year, maybe later on in the year in the fall, a lot of times you don't have the pest pressure with fall crops that you do in the early parts of the summer. Well, the ladybugs are still on the noodle beans. They've hung around. Guys! Look! My blue butterfly peas, they opened! Look! Oh my goodness! And over here! How exciting is that? This is gonna be so pretty! That is exceptional. Look at that. Isn't that completely gorgeous? This is just my favorite garden spot this year. These two beds right here. And those blue butterfly peas showing up. That just makes my day. Now over here, I'm hoping for some change. These are gone. This happened just like in a matter of a couple of days. And this happens every June. The caterpillars come in and I finally just let them win. So I'm gonna cut this out. I've got some squash coming up here. And I have some dahlias right here, but this tomato plant is just overtaking. So I'm probably gonna have to prune this back some. Can y'all believe how high these sunflower plants have gotten? They're so tall. And looky here. That one's starting to open up ahead. Daniel and I were out here tying stuff up the other day and just gave these a little bit of support here because I was concerned that, you know, one strong windstorm could come and take these out. I'm glad too, because the wind got really pretty hard last night. Benjamin was out here playing, it looks like. Check out the Benny melons. They're coming along. This Benny Kadima watermelon, this is 2 plants, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and several little ones. And Benjamin already accidentally broke one of them off. So 9 large melons on these 2 plants. It started to rain really heavily yesterday, and it was going to rain all night. So we actually came out and cut a couple of the blushing tomatoes that were getting really close because I wanted to keep them from cracking. Now here's one that's really just starting to blush, but I prefer to let them ripen on the vine if that's an option.
Whoa.
Can we see? Oh, that was 3 stuck together, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh, was this stuck to that? Wow, that was all growing as one right there. That's nuts.
Do you want to feed some to bear?
No, bear doesn't eat tomatoes. That's cool. This is the Dancing with Smurfs tomato. You can see it's kind of got a little bit of a purple shoulder there. It's pretty good. I was actually expecting for it to be a lot more purple than it is, but it's It's a pretty good flavored tomato. They're larger. Well, this one's all kind of fused together, but this seems to be kind of the consistent size. What are you picking now?
Baby tiny red tomatoes.
Tiny baby red tomatoes? Will you show them to me? Oh, those are tiny. Super cute. Do you like them, Ben? You silly boy. You're so silly.
Bubba.
Is that good? You got tomato juice on your face. Oh, is that for me? Thank you. I think we're crossing the threshold to the point where actually I'm gonna have to pick the cherry tomatoes and take them in the house. Up until this point, we've just picked them and eaten them right in the garden.
Tomatoes are my precious.
You're precious. You're silly. Bear, what are you doing, man?
Sit it down.
You're so handsome, Bear.
The bed.
What is Bear?
He's the best dog in the world that doesn't chew up his bed.
Yeah. Con's been chewing up his bed in his crate, and he's chewed up 2 beds now. One of them is still usable. It's just a little flat on one side, and he has to have a bed because he gets pressure points on his elbows if he doesn't have a bed. That's pretty. Beautiful. Guys, do y'all know what I just saw? That right there is my first Kajari melon of this year. That little baby. Things surely are coming along in the garden. I kind of got a little bit discouraged because I found a video clip from the garden a few years ago. It was just like a week past where we are in the season now. And my eggplants were 3 feet tall. My peppers were 3 feet tall. My tomato plants were just massive and full of fruit. And I was like, man, like, what is going on? And I started feeling like, did I do something wrong? And then Jeremiah was like, honey, farmers all over the country are struggling with their crops being behind. It's a hard year for gardening. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. It's a hard year for gardening. So if you're feeling like that, if you're feeling like discouraged, like, gosh, this just isn't what I hoped it would be, do be encouraged by the fact that it's not just you. I feel that way. I know that there are commercial farmers all over that are suffering from the conditions of the weather this year. And so, yes, you can pull that off. Yes, go ahead and prune it off. So definitely keep at it. Some years are better than others. And this has been a hard year for growing. Hey, Gary. Bear, be sweet. Y'all see my little volunteer tomatoes by my front door? These grow here every year. They're these little red cherry tomatoes. I don't know where they originated, but every single year I have plants that grow right by my front door. I've got to run in the house and get some dinner cooked. Maya and Daniel are on their way back. They had to go get some stuff for our bees, and Daniel's about to head home to Alabama. He wasn't here for very long. He just had to come into town and pick some stuff up. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with us today, yesterday, over the course of this vlog. I bless you. Until next time.